And one of our local state representatives, Abel Herrero, releasing this statement on the walkout tonight, saying in part, quote, although not in Washington, D.C., with other Democrats breaking quorum to oppose voter suppression legislation, I fully support their efforts. While responsibilities in the district have kept me from being in Austin, I will join Democrats to fight against the oppressive legislation upon returning to the Texas Capitol. Congressman Vicente Gonzalez also speaking out in support of the Democrat lawmakers, saying tonight, I commend the Texas legislators who had the courage to leave their families, homes, jobs, and the great state of Texas to preserve our democracy, end quote. Gonzalez went on to urge President Biden and the Senate to do whatever is necessary to pass critical legislation that maintains the integrity of elections and protects every American's sacred right to vote.